His F-1 visa was just cancelled. Here's the shocking part. He grew up in the US, came here as a child on H-4 dependent visa, did high school in Michigan and switched to a F-1 student visa in 2022 to start college. He had no criminal record, just a speeding ticket and a parking fine, both paid. Then on April 4th, 2025, Chinmay received an email from his university. Your service record has been terminated, visa revoked. No warning, no explanation, just gone. So what happened? The law used here was INA Section 221, a clause in the US Immigration and Nationality Act. It gives the Department of State the power to revoke any visa at any time without giving any reason. And worse, it's non-reviewable. That means you cannot challenge it in the court. But here's the key. Having your visa revoked doesn't necessarily mean you've lost your legal status inside the US. That part is governed by a completely different rule, 8 CFR 214.2F, a federal regulation that controls F-1 student visa. This rule says that your F-1 status can only be terminated if you actually break a visa condition. Dropping below full-time enrollment, working off-campus without authorization, or being convicted of a serious crime. Chinmay did none of that. Now here's what most students and even some universities don't realize. A visa and visa status are not the same thing. Your F-1 visa is just a travel document. It lets you enter the US with a student status. But once you're inside the US, what matters is your service status. That's your legal right to stay. And yes, there are many cases where students' F-1 visa was revoked, but their service remains active. In that situation, the student can still legally stay in the US and continue studying. They just can't travel internationally without applying for a new visa. It happens all the time. For example, if someone gets arrested for a minor offense like a DUI or shoplifting, the Department of State might revoke the visa as a precaution, but unless DHS terminates their service, the student still holds legal F-1 status. Why? Because revoking a visa and revoking status are two entirely different legal processes handled by two different government departments. But in 2025, that's what's changing. Under Trump administration's immigration crackdown, these two actions are now being done together. The State Department revokes your visa, the DHS manually terminates your service, often without a clear violation. And that's what happened to Chinmay as well. Not only was his visa revoked, his legal status to remain in the US was also erased, even though he didn't break any rules. Now with help of ACLU, Chinmay and 3 other students, 2 from China and 1 from Nepal, are suing the Trump administration, calling it a mass misuse of power. And they're not alone. Over 1,000 students, mostly from India and China, have had their visas revoked and service records terminated since March 2025. At MIT, 9 students lost status in a single week. At Wisconsin, 1 student's visa was revoked after a minor incident that wasn't even prosecuted. At Columbia, a student fled to Canada after DHS agents appeared at her door, allegedly over political tweets. Legal experts are calling it a quiet purge, an aggressive policy using legal grey zones and fear to push students down. As the immigration attorney Jonathan Vazin puts it, every procedural safeguard in the book was blown past. So what does this mean for you? It means that even if you follow every rule, even if you're a model student, you still cannot lose your status if the system flags you even wrongly. It means the visa you got approved at the consulate is only the beginning, not a guarantee. So how can you protect yourself? Stay enrolled full-time and keep your I-20 valid. Never work off campus without CPT or OPT authorization. Resolve even minor legal issues quickly, parking tickets, citations, anything. Read every email from SEVIS or your university's DSO. Keep all records of your compliance and academic progress. If you receive any notice or warning, get legal help immediately. Chinmay's lawsuit could change how things are handled in the future, but right now, awareness is the best protection. This isn't just about studying abroad, it's about understanding the system you're stepping into. Because getting the visa is one thing, keeping your status is everything. Follow us for more such updates and insights.